yo, I never quite know what's the YouTube buffering period. I never know, like, does it start right away? Does it start slightly before? I'm not sure. Anyway, so today I'm just gonna be reading this book. And as a matter of fact, this book is in Portuguese, so I will be translating as I read it. And hopefully that works out. So yeah, this book is about, I guess some people may want to know what it's about before you decide if you want to sit and listen to the whole fucking thing. It is about a kid and a peacock going in a quest to find what to do with their lives, basically. It is quite simple and kind of cheerful, but at the same time it deals with a lot of complex themes, such as how the peacock is always getting put down by everyone around him. And the kid also has a harsh life, so he's on his own, just on his quest, and he finds the peacock on the way. And this is the setup, basically, so yeah. Here we go. Alexander decided to make more noise. He shook the box of ice cream, but instead of ice and ice cream, the box had a spoon, fork, and a knife, and it also had a little bit of a little step of a pencil, a history book, a mug, and a pot. He shouted again, "Attention, attention! Have you ever seen a peacock? I bet not. And also, I bet you never seen a peacock like mine. He talks, he dances, he knows how to make magic. He is genius." People that had already gathered around, looked around over there, looked around the other way. They didn't see any peacock. One boy asked, "But where?" Alexander made a mystery face. I already said. He's magic. He appears in the air all of a sudden. When he wants to? No? When I say now! And he shook the box again, wanted to attract more people. "Attention, attention! Have you ever seen a peacock? Hey-o, Bills!" How you doing? Vera was coming down the road. She heard the noise, saw all of the people below the mango tree, and she came walking along, and heard Alexander saying, "I don't charge any specific price to show the peacock. My hat is over there. Everyone gives what you want, what you can." People looked at the hat, very old, in the ground, made of vinyl. Alexander kept waiting. All of the children looked in their pockets to see what they had. One of them gave a penny, another gave 2, another gave, I don't know, this is old currency, this is cruzeiros. I have no idea how much is a cruzeiro. I just go with a buck. One gave a buck, another gave 2, another gave just a few cents. One of them asked, "Can I pay with a cocada?" A cocada is a coconut candy, by the way. "Can I pay with candy?" "Yes." Then everyone cheered up. One boy gave 2 bananas of the bunch he was taking home. Another gave a candy. He thought it was too little. He came back and gave another. A little girl ran over to the weeds nearby, got a bunch of flowers, and put it in the hat. Vera was still coming. The big guys, there was some 4 or 5, were also dying to see. I'm good. I'm glad. Hope you enjoyed. Oh. But they were dying to see the show. It was the first time there was a peacock in the middle of the... I don't know how to translate this. In the middle of the farmland. It's a rural area. They said it was the most beautiful animal, but none of them moved. One guy with a patched up shirt asked, "And what if we pay and then the peacock is not all that beautiful as they say? And what if it doesn't make magic? And what if it doesn't dance?" He decided, "Money is hard to come by, boy. We can only spend with things very 100%. First, the peacock appears and does everything he knows how to do, and then we pay." All of the rest of the grown-ups liked the idea. Yes, that's it. Alexander didn't like it. He already knew the story. The show ended, they would leave as if they were coming, and it would be all like that. Some things are hard to translate. Fez cara feia. He just tensed up his face. But we have nice words for it. "I'm not cheating anybody. What I said the peacock does, he really does." "Huh, we'll see." And they folded their arms as if they said, "That's what I said. Let's see what it is." The children looked at each other. Would they ever supposed to do the same thing that the grown-ups were doing? But the payment was already in the hat. It would be a bummer to go there and get it out, wouldn't it? And now, Alexander decided it was better to start already. He shook the box with... He shook the box with strength and yelled, "Now!" Vera arrived, and the peacock that was hidden in a very tall branch of the mango tree jumped very beautifully and came yelling in his jump, opening all of his feathers. And as soon as he arrived in the floor, he finished open his feathers and started making poses. It was so beautiful that everyone took a scare. No one moved. Everyone just staring at the peacock. One woman sighed. "Pshew, pshew." A woman, poor woman, she had inflated her chest for another sigh, but quickly she... some stuff is so weird to translate. Don't mind they scoff a little. I've only ever done live interpreting once. She was red with the strength she did for her sigh not to come out. Why is she doing this? I don't get it. I guess I'm just confused. Why is she doing this? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, The peacock was also still, just showing himself and nothing else. When Alexander saw that the scare was going away, he started showing all of the colors that the peacock had. He would show all of his feathers slowly, saying that they were like silk. Silk is something that no one over there knew. One girl asked, "Can I touch him to see how it is?" Of course. The girl came closer, but suddenly she got scared. Does he bite? And it was the peacock that answered, "I have to find the cat in cloak." Everybody stayed there, just a little bit still, thinking that the answer was as weird as that. But very quickly Alexander told, "He doesn't bite, he doesn't pick, whatever this is, nothing. You can make all the fuss you want." The girl did, and then everybody decided to see how it was be like silk. Only Vera didn't move. She kept staring at Alexander with a very curious to know what he was. She knew that everybody there, the city was very small. It was an interior rural city with only 3 paved roads. The rest was just open farms where they planted flowers. Every day she would walk there by the road, coming and going from the school, always seeing the same people. Never had seen Alexander. His way was so different. Everybody started going back to their place, and the peacock started taking position to dance. Alexander started singing very slowly a samba, a very slow samba that didn't really have any rush to get to the end. What Alexander really wanted was a radio, a vitrola, any sound to play, but how he didn't have anything, he really just had to sing. Without a song, the peacock couldn't dance. And the peacock danced, moving over there and over there. And at the same time that he danced, he opened the feathers, sometimes in one direction, sometimes in another direction. Just like we sometimes open just half of a fan. Alexander went singing louder and faster a little. Sometimes gave a little stop in the music, and in these times the peacock also stopped with a little jingle, a beautiful jingle that was really nice to look at, and opened all of his feathers. Alexander would just whistle, would just whistle the music to give time to everything, to all the feathers to open and close, and then would sing again, even louder. With another move of the body, really nice first to imitate, the peacock started once again to dance, moving over there and over there. Everybody started singing too, and with everyone singing, the music would get louder, louder and warmer, and all of the laziness would go away. It was walking, then it was running even more, and the peacock was jingling and giggling everywhere. Also, even faster, going over there and over there, going and stopping with his tail. Anyway, I think some of those things work better in Portuguese, and it's a little bit difficult to translate things to. They're kind of made to rhyme, Ba-da-ba-ba. And that's the end, Alexander yelled. Everyone started to clap. It was very beautiful to look at, and the peacock, that was exhausted, took the chance to rest. The thinking of Vera was really still in the same thing. As soon as the show is over, I'm going to go talk to this boy to know who he is. Alexander went to the middle of the circle and announced, "Now, the second part." "How many parts there will be?" a girl asked. "3. The second part is a magic trick. I will close the eyes of the peacock with this piece of cloth. One of you come here, pull a feather off him, and then go back to your place. Afterwards, only of him looking at the face of each one of you, he will find out who pulled his feather." Yeah, it really is, and especially since this is a book from like 76. So some wording is a little bit odd, even for Portuguese. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Everyone closed in on the circle. Making magic was even harder than dancing. Alexander called in a woman with the side that was stuck, but still went out. What a way to describe a woman. The woman that held in her side. You, over there! Could you come over here and tie the cloth so that no one thinks I left a spot? The woman gave a very tight... He tightened it a lot. She tightened it a lot. The peacock... gemeu. How is it? Anyway, he complained a little bit. Everyone was happy. After such a harsh tie, there would not be a way for anyone to see anything. So, now, who is going to pull his feather? Vera lifted her hand and ran, just to get close to Alexander. She pulled the feather with very much care and went back to her place. Alexander untied the cloth and the peacock started looking in the faces of everyone, kind of closing his eye, as if he was thinking really hard. Everyone serious so that he wouldn't suspect a thing. Alexander ordered, and to see if they only be serious, they would go close to everyone that the peacock looked. And as soon as everyone decided to be serious, it would give such a strong will to just laugh. And it was a thing of hide their laughter that wouldn't end. "Yo!" yelled the peacock suddenly for Vera. Everyone started to think how was it that he had managed to find out. But Alexander didn't give time anyone to want to know anything, and he will go to this middle of the circle and announce, "And now he will say a verse of goodbye." Then the peacock started to talk some stuff that nobody understood. One boy complained, "What a strange noise that he makes." Alexander explained that peacock language was just like that. He would need to pay a lot of attention. They did, but it didn't help. No one... hang on, I lost myself where I am. But it didn't help. No one understood a thing. As soon as the verse was over, Vera asked the peacock, "How is named the language that you speak?" And he said, "Did anyone see the caped cat?" Alexander poked the peacock. Answer right, pay attention. The peacock would look at Vera as if he was giving all of the attention. She repeated the question. Alexander thought it would be better to answer for the peacock. He speaks a language called Drew. How is it? Drew! And he yelled, attention, attention! Now the peacock will give you goodbye in our language. Very loud, peacock, very loud. The peacock opened his eyes very wide and announced the verse of goodbye and recited, the claps that I gained with the presentation, they fill with my heart with happiness. But if the distinct public wants to show me their appreciation, throw me a little bit more money in the floor. And this is what asks your loyal friend, the peacock. Everyone loved it. Language of our own, it really was something else. He had spoken everything right, everything ending in "on." The whole thing rhymes. They clapped with strength and they threw some more money in the floor. They didn't even see that the peacock was shaking from one side to another, looking dizzy. The children asked another reprise of the dance, and they asked so hard that Alexander didn't have another way. He shook the peacock and explained really softly that they would sing and dance again. The peacock tried to get himself uptight again. He startled his eyes even more and started dancing again. Alexander sang very loud. Everyone sang with him. And it was a success again. But then everybody started getting afraid that the peacock would ask more money and went and started going away already. The peacock looked even dizzier. He shaked another way and he closed his eye and he passed out. No, let me just change this song. Alexander didn't even wait everyone to leave to start getting the money that was in the floor. He took out the cocada and ate it all at once. The candy didn't even chew. He swallowed them. He went right ahead and took out the bananas and ate them one after the other. He turned around to see if he would find anything else in the floor and took a scare. I didn't see you. Vera was just quiet looking at him. She took the food that she had and handed it out to him. I didn't eat at school. Yesterday, I ate too much mango and my stomach is a little bad. You want it? Alexander said yes. He opened the tablecloth that was wrapping a sandwich of cheese and a few corn rolls. He supported himself in the mango tree and was eating. The eye looking at the road, the plantation of flowers, the weeds, the river. He pointed with the sandwich. What is it that is there after that fence? Where? There, after everything we see over here. I don't know. I only know until the fence. Why? Why what? Why did you never go over there? For what? To see what is it that is there. They said it's better that we don't go. Who said? Everybody. Why? I don't know. I think the people on the other side don't want it. Alexander replied. Is that why they put that fence so tall? I guess so. Where do you live? In Rio. And you? Rio de Janeiro? Yeah, I live in Copacabana, but in the weekends I go over to Ipanema. Vera was shocked looked at him. Of course she had seen that he wasn't from there, but she would never have imagined that he was a boy from Copacabana. Alexander looked at her. You know Copacabana? No, but my cousin went there. She lived here in the rural area, but her father also planted flower like mine. What flower does he plant? Carnation, zinnias, agapanto, and... what is this? I know the name. Not marigold. Daisies. Do you know it? No. I'll show you later. But then her father sold the farm and moved there. He lives in the street security campus, near a tunnel. Do you know it? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Then she wrote to me saying that all of her school colleagues had never seen a rabbit, not even a tattoo. I'm not gonna bother trying to translate all the animal names and shit. And much less a capybara. Have you thought about it? She said that the boy that sits near her hadn't even seen a chicken. Only cooked in the dinner table, already ready to eat. And she said that he never thought that the chicken walked and even flied. And pig they also never saw. From where I came from, there is pig. In Copacabana? Yeah. But is there? In a few places, yeah, there is. And tattoo and rabbit and capybara is there also? That I never saw. Is there those animals here? Yeah, I'll show you later. And where is it that you live? Vera pointed at a flower plantation. The house is over at the end. There is a very cool patio. It even goes into the river. And the river is also yours? No, the river is itself. She basically just said the river is himself. Alexander laughed. Vera didn't say that to make fun. She started looking at the ant in the floor. What if those people that never saw, not even a tattoo, not even a rabbit, nor a chicken lived, was just like me? Would they think like me? She looked at Alexander everywhere, from top to bottom. He was a lot more tan than her, taller. He talked nice. He had a very old cloth, and he wasn't wearing any shoes. But everything else didn't look that different, no? Well, but he isn't like the schoolmates of my cousin. There's a pig where he lives? Alexander sat on the floor with a sigh. Now the peacock will sleep until he can't anymore, and I have to be taking care of him. Why? Wow, if they steal my peacock, I'm damned. There would be no more show. I won't earn any more. How am I going to eat? Does he live with you in Copacabana? No, I found him while I was traveling. What travel? I'm traveling. I'm going to the house of my godmother. And just for the record, the house of the godmother is the title of the book. It's basically traveling to go to his godmother's house. Vera got disappointed. You're going? You're just gonna pass over here? It's not gonna stay. Shisato, does she live far? I think there's still a very long way. Augusto said that I had to go walking all the life. Augustus is my brother, you know. He now is working in a factory in São Paulo. Walking all the life. This is worded very specifically like this. This is what he had to walk all the life. This is intentional. It's probably a bit harder to miss details like that in translation and everything. Is there a long time already that you've been traveling? Well, I left, let's see, I know it was a Sunday, but oh man, you know, I can't even remember anymore when was it that I left. Hang on, I know it was a Sunday. I even wanted to leave early, but I only left late in the afternoon because Sunday the beach is full. It was really good for us to work. I mean, it was in the time that the folk of the holidays were much bigger than the folk of the basically slang is basically referring the folk that go there just to travel and the folk that are there to make a mess and sell stuff. What folk are those? He had to walk all the life. What does that mean? You know at the end of the book. I'm just taking note that that's what he said at this point. What was... it's the people that sell stuff in the beach. They sell what? Everything. Before, it was just cookie, ice cream, drinks. But then, the folks of the viração, I'm just gonna leave it like that. It makes no sense even in Portuguese, so. They were increasing, and then they started selling everything. They would sell tents, book, chairs, towels, journal, cloth dryers. They would sell rugs. What did you sell? I started selling cookies. I was very small. I had to carry a lot of something very, very light. Now that I grew up a little, and then I started selling peanuts, and then it was weighted a lot more to carry around that tin with the a fireplace to warm it up. They sell like peanuts coated in sugar and it's warm. Then I grew up more and I started selling ice cream. Then they would only buy if it was very cold, and you know how it is, don't you? Walking in the sand with that fucking heat. You have to carry a ton of ice in the box for the ice cream to be always very cold. Yeah, it makes no sense. I mean, this is more for the fact that this book is from 76. So a lot of slangs have fallen out of use. It is, yeah. Most of this is still very readable, but there's some oddities. It was such a heavy weight that I would tell you. But now there was so much people selling ice cream that I will walk 5, 6 times off the beach and I don't sell anything. Firstly, it was mostly Copacabana that was all of these people. But then I started going the weekends in Ipanema. But Ipanema is also full. And then I said at home, the life in the beach is too tight. I think I'm gonna travel. But then it was Sunday and they said, it's a Sunday, it's a sunny day, the beach is full, go work. And then I went, but only as a goodbye, because I already there decided that I would really travel, and I kinda lucked out, you know. I sold almost everything that I took. There would only left 2 or 3 that I ate. I asked a colleague to take the money to the boss, saying that I said a warm goodbye hug. It was the box of August, and so I took it with me to serve as a luggage box. Then I stopped by home to say goodbye to everybody, and with everything settled, I got the hell out of there. It must have been 2 o'clock. And your people didn't mind? No. I said I was gonna visit the godmother, and they said, finally you care about her? Was it hard to get over here? Well, I walked a hell of a fucking lot. Then I hitchhiked in the truck that was taking some horses to a farm. It was full. I had to travel riding a black horse. That was cool. Then over at night, it was kind of bad. Horse sleeps well standing up, but people sleep very well mounting a horse. After the farm, the truck started going back and I had to walk again. I walked some 4 hours like that. It seemed like I wouldn't manage to walk anymore. But I managed, and then everything started going bad. No one would give me any more hitchhiking. The weather changed, the sun went away. I started getting so tired that I wouldn't even manage to stand up anymore. And why didn't you stop to rest? Yeah, that's when I did. He stopped, looked at the little forest over there, saw a really good piece of logging to sit, and he sat. And some 5 minutes later, there was a mist. It was a kind of slow mist that loved to put fear. From far, it saw Alexander sitting and came coming from behind without making any noise. The mist was just like smoke, like dense smoke. It was just as it came along, and everything would start to disappear. The mist circled Alexander, and everything disappeared. The woods, the road, even the log that he was sat on disappeared. He got up and wanted to run, fell, stopped, gave up, and then the mist, sure that Alexander was dying of terror, went right ahead and went away. Where it was going, everything would be disappearing. But Alexander didn't mind. He remembered that once he was selling ice cream in the beach, and all of a sudden a very strong mist came by. Everyone was still, without managing to see a fucking thing. But after that, there was sun, and it just ripped the mist apart, went right in, and would push off the mist away, pushing, until it was blue again. Alexander thought it was gonna happen the same thing, and he waited, and he waited, and he waited. Then he tried walking. Ui! Desculpa, esbarrão, não tô enxergando nada. Who is there? Alexander, and there, the peacock. And that was how the two met. Alexander already heard of peacock. He was dying to see how it was. But who would say the mist would go away? Then he tried talking to him. Is it true that peacock is a very beautiful animal all life? I think this is another slang. The peacock didn't say anything. Alexander thought that it hadn't hurt him, and he asked again. The peacock still didn't answer. Hey, are you there? The peacock said, hey. It started looking like the peacock was a bit deaf, so Alexander yelled, are you beautiful like they say? A long time went by, and then the peacock replied, very, very pretty. Alexander asked if he also lived in Rio. The peacock took a very long time to understand the question and said that he didn't really have a home. Then Alexander told him that he was going to his godmother's house. He told him about the hitchhiking, the horse, everything, and then wanted to know, and you, where are you going? Going? Yeah. Silence. Alexander started to get a little bummed. What a weird animal it was, the peacock. He asked again. The peacock gave a little shaky sigh. And he walked and tripped, sighed again. And at last he answered, I'm going. But I don't know where is it I'm going. You don't know? I'm going, but I don't know where is it I'm going. And then that was it. He was stuck at that. Alexander still made a few more questions, but the peacock didn't even wait for him to finish asking. I'm going, but I don't know where is it I'm going. Alexander was even more bummed. I think this guy melted his brain. Oh, it's such a long time I don't hear this type of slang. There was such cool slang in old Portuguese. I miss that. He wasn't a boy to be afraid just like that, but it's better to leave to the others this story of being alone with a very kinda crazy. Someone in the middle of a mist so strong, he decided, well, since the mist doesn't go away, I'm going anyway. Bye, okay? And very quickly, the peacock replied, I'm going, but I don't know where is it I'm going. Alexander decided to get the hell out of there. At least the peacock knows he's beautiful, yeah. Alexander got the hell out of there, tripping, putting his hands over everything to know where he was going, bumping into one thing after the next, with no idea where is it he was going. But alone with that crazy dude, he was not gonna stay. No way. After quite a while, he felt that someone was behind him. His heart started racing. Who is there? I'm going, but I don't know where is it I'm going. Poor peacock. Oh, then that was it. He started going faster, and the peacock after him, he started running. Even without seeing a thing, he ran, tripping at every tree, hurting himself. The box of ice cream fell. He heard the noise of the mug, the spoon, everything spreading over everything. But he didn't even stop. He just wanted to get rid of the peacock. And the peacock still going out after him. All of a sudden, just like in that day at the beach, the sun started opening the mist. Alexander saw sky, cloud, tree branch. He stopped. He wanted to run from the peacock, but he was also so curious to see how it looked like. All of a sudden, the sun cleared everything. There wasn't any mist left. The peacock yelled in happiness and opened all of his feathers. Alexander turned in with the yell, and he was stunned. I was stunned. I had seen a lot of pretty stuff. From my home, we could see such a pretty sight. There was a girl that goes always to the beach with a tied hair that is just so beautiful. And besides that, you know how it is, don't you? When we travel, we see so much cool stuff. In this travel, I already saw a very big ship and small train. I saw even trucks carrying some 20 cars in the back. Well, I mean, in 76, this was probably stunning. I have to remember this is how old the book is. I know it was 20 because I counted, but something pretty like that with all so much color and so rich, just like the peacock, I had never seen, never. And then something happened afterwards that I just kept thinking, how is it that something like this happens? When I started walking again, and I saw that the peacock would come after me, I didn't care anymore. Funny, isn't it? Well, it's how it is. I thought it was cool to go walking down the street with something so pretty, so that every time I wanted, I could look at it. But I decided it was better not to try to talk to him anymore. He didn't talk anymore either? No, We walked for the rest of the day. We ate everything that I still had in the box. Did you go back to get the box? And I would leave it there? At night, there was a full moon. The night lit everything so well that we even looked for a shadow of a tree to sleep in. When it was morning, I said good morning to the peacock. He thought a lot and then said good morning. And then I asked if he had slept well. And he thought really hard. And after a while, he asked me if I had slept well. And then I asked, well, let's continue the travel. And he just replied back, let's continue the travel. And how he would just repeat everything I said. I decided not to ask anything anymore and got right back to walking, traveling. And it was already the next day when all of a sudden something so weird happened that I didn't expect, that I almost fell. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the peacock stopped in the road, looked like he was very intelligent, and called Alexander. Psio. And only then Alexander got close that the peacock started to tell all about his life. But he would tell it so well, talking and laughing normally, throwing his feathers over there and over there, just to make pose, his eyes sparkling. He was completely different. He looked like another animal entirely. Alexander got really excited with the new way of the peacock. All of the time he would meddle in the story to ask, oh, is that so? And how about this? And how about that? And the peacock would answer right away. He didn't even spend a minute to think. He told him so much stuff. He told funny stuff. He told scary stuff. And then they started getting along really well. And the more they got along, the better the shot would get. And then all of a sudden, Alexander asked, but listen, peacock, they told you to go walking all the life. They told you to go walk all the life? Yeah, they told you? Yeah, they told you? No, man, I'm the one that's asking. I'm the one that's asking. Yeah, there we go. The peacock started losing all his shine in the eyes. Repeated very softly again. There we go. He started going quiet, even quieter. Then Alexander saw that all of a sudden again, the peacock had stopped thinking normally, stopped talking normally, stopped moving normally. But wait a minute, Vera decided to interrupt. The peacock is crazy? Crazy? Crazy, he doesn't have anything. He's not crazy at all. But then, what is it that he has? He just thinks like in drops. He what? He just thinks a few drops a day. They slowed his thinking down. Stop fooling me. I'm not telling a joke. It's true. Really? Really? But did they do it on purpose? Yeah. And how is it that you slow someone's thinking? They say there's a bunch of ways, but they did it like really a hard way? Yeah. Before he would... I think this is another slang. Just say But is it really? Yeah, really. They thought before he would think normally and he enjoyed life that you would only see. And why is it they did that? He was born too pretty. Well, so what? So that he was so pretty and even prettier than everything else that was ever of the other peacocks, that there was people from all over the place that came to see him. Even animal doctors came to see those guys that spend life studying animals, you know? The experts. Yeah, I know. They heard talk of the peacock and they came to see him really close. They would be stunned. They'd said, the feathers of this peacock are very rare feathers. And then the owners of the peacock started getting together. One of them said, if there's people from so far that come to look at him, if even professor came to look, then we should charge entry. Another was stoked. Yes, of course. Why would we show the peacock for free? And then yet another asked, but would the peacock accept it? And then another, but how many owners did the peacock have? 5. Wow, why? What? All these owners. So many owners. Well, before he was a success, he didn't have any owner. But as soon as he started that story of everyone wanting to see how pretty he was, then all of a sudden there were 5 owners. One said that the peacock was born in his garden, so it was his. The neighbor said that he fed him, so the peacock was his. A woman said that she had given the peacock for the owner of the garden, and so she was the first owner. And yet another said, all those stories. The mother of the peacock was mine, and therefore I am the owner of the mother, I am the owner of the... I was born too pretty. Oh, I know the struggle, right? I know that struggle so well. I am the owner of the mother, I am the owner of the children too. And then the 50th owner decided the peacock doesn't have to accept or not accept this thing of us charging entrance. We are the owners, we decided, and that's the end of that. And the other 4 just agreed with him. Yes, that's it. And did the peacock accept it? Of course not. He was furious that there was so many owners all of a sudden. And when he saw that they wanted to keep him tied up in a little bit of a garden, just there for nothing, just to show himself all the time, he was even more furious. As soon as he was thinking about traveling, one day taking a boat and cross all of the seas, he said, "No, I don't agree at all." And then they tied him by the feet, but he freed himself. They tied him by the neck. He freed himself. They tied him by the feathers with a really tight rope like that. And then he gave a pull, left a bunch of his feathers in the rope, and went walking for the port to see if he would find the ship. Then all the owners, so-called owners, lost their patience and decided, we went once and for all with this habit of this guy of freeing himself. And then they took the peacock to a school that was nearby. That was a school made on purpose to slow the thinking of the students. Oh man, some parents do that. This feels so relatable because a lot of people do exactly this. They get so mad that someone that's just doing their own stuff, and they just want a piece of somebody for themselves because they are successful. I feel this so badly. I didn't fully understand this book when I read it. I have it, the same book, like since I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9. It was the first book I read when I learned how to read. And I feel like even though I didn't completely understand it, I was so attached to it. I feel like at some level, it helped me be so fucking stubborn and not mind people doing this to me all the time. I was just like the peacock. I just say, nope. Fuck you. The school where they took the peacock was called the Escola Ozarta of Thinking. They basically took slow and they worked it backwards. And that's the name of the school. It's slow, written backwards. They made this name so that it wouldn't be too obvious, but anyone that was interested in the subject would really notice straight away. It was just read Ozarta backwards. Very true. People get mad when, yeah, they get especially mad if you don't succeed for them. Everyone wants to be nice to you, up until the point where they can use you. As soon as you say no, they are just mad. And then they start lashing out on you. This has been pretty much most of my life, which is fucking why I sometimes pretend to be dumb. Like, if you're gonna like me for my talent, fuck off. Ozarta had 3 courses: the course that chat, the course thread, and the course filter. The course chat was just like that, chat. They would chat that you couldn't even imagine. The peacock even liked, at that time, his thinking was still normal. He liked talking. He would started knowing what is it that other people thought. And he also started thinking a bunch of stuff. But there was a problem. He couldn't think anything. He had to be quiet, just listening to everybody chat. It didn't help. Oh, fuck, I've missed a part. If he opened his mouth to say anything, he would be put on... I feel like this is important for me to translate. Just a second. Castigo. Punishment, yeah. He would be punished. If you asked to go outside, he would be punished. If he slept, people talked so much that it would kind of started to get sleepy. They would wake him up and he would be punished. And then the peacock decided that he would just talk all the time, go outside and nap, just to be punished and not have to listen to anybody talk anymore. It didn't help. They started talking in the time of the punishment too. And besides that, they talked even more. The peacock was a very calm animal, very tranquil, but with all of that chattery all day, all the time. He started getting... He was starting to get... scared. No, that's not... Apavorado. Terrified. Started getting terrified. He would get scared by just anything. He was nervous. He started sighing just like that. I don't know how to translate that, so I just make the noise. All the time, he would shake the last feather of the left side. Every 3/4 of an hour, he shaked the penultimate feather of the right side. The course chat was just for that. For the student to be scared of everything. And fucking hell, have I been around people like that? I know how it's like. It's so fucking annoying. Everybody in Ozarta knew that the more terrified the student was, the more his thought was loud. And then they would hammer in his mind all day. Don't leave the course. If you leave, you will trip, you will fall. Be careful, okay? Oh, be careful. Look, you were tripping, you were falling. Haven't I told you? You were going to be all life close to your owners, okay? Don't be alone, ever. Being alone is dangerous. You think you're alone, but you are not. There's a ghost around. Look at the Oogie Boogie, whatever, monster. Beware the night. The night is dark. Beware. They would invent so many horrible stories to tell at night. And they said that if the peacock didn't do all of that his owners wanted, he would get sick, he would have horrible stomach aches, he was even capable of dying, roasted in some fire, in a very big fire. The peacock was even more terrified. By the middle of the course, he started getting a weird way of walking. He would try out all of the steps that he took to see if he wouldn't start slipping, if he wouldn't fall, if he wouldn't start getting sick, if he wouldn't end in the fire. And at the time of talking, he also thought that his words would fall, would trip, and he just shut himself. It was better to not even talk. Then his grades started getting better. At the start of the course, the peacock only took a 0, 1, 2 at best, but with his fear increasing, his grades were also improving, 3, 4, 5, and there was a day that the peacock was so scared of so much stuff that he even won a 7. Score 10 was only for when the student was scared of thinking. Then the course was complete. They gave you a diploma and everything. Man, this is where this book is so dark. Because this is so true. This is so true. Some people say stuff exactly like this to you, but all sorts of things. People just keep putting fear into you. Wanna do something? Oh, but be scared. Be scared of this, but be scared. They just hold you back. You wanna do anything, and they just hold you back with a bunch of fucking shitty stories that they sometimes even believe. It's insane. Sometimes you feel so fucking overwhelmed by all of this that you start thinking, well, everyone says this, it must be true. It's ridiculous. In the day that the peacock had the 7, at night he dreamed. He dreamt that a very dream. This is how it's written. A very well-dreamt dream. It was all in yellow, blue, and lettuce green. He dreamt that everybody in course chat talked and talked and talked and talked, and he couldn't hear anything else anymore. He was deaf. He woke up and he thought, that's it. That's the way. He went to school. They were just polishing up the corridor. He took a bunch of grease and very well hidden, he put it in his ear. Then, from there onwards, the peacock would just be very serious, looking at everyone else talking. And him, oh goodness, he couldn't hear. They did everything. They talked so much that they would lose their voices. One of them even couldn't talk anymore, but that was it. The fear of peacock wouldn't get any worse. It just got stuck at grade 7, and that was it. They decided then take him to course thread, and the peacock went with very much fear of falling, looking at his leg all the time to see if a little itch that he had wasn't that sad sickness that everyone told him about. Making this noise all the time, shaking his last feather and the penultimate feather, but besides that, normal. Everybody in Ozarta had heard talk of an operation that they made in a fight cock. I think this is illegal today, but I guess it wasn't illegal back then. Oh fuck, why is this magic sideways anyway? Then they tied up his thinking, leaving only the bit that thought that his owners were cool. Everything else disappeared inside the thread. The operation was so successful that a lot of people talked about that. Then people of Ozarta called in the owners of the cock to give a course in the school. The course started being called the course thread. All the 5 owners of the peacock would then go to Ozarta, decide what is it that would disappear and what wouldn't disappear in that sewing of thought. Each owner wanted the peacock to be thinking a bunch of stuff for the rest of their life. They argued. It was such a yelling. The people in Ozarta started getting annoyed. No, you can't. No, this is gonna be ending in confusion. Or each owner only has the right to choose one thinking for the peacock. What's illegal? Cockfights. They said here that the owner of fighting chicken cock, I think that's illegal now. I think it wasn't illegal back then. Just one? Yeah, just one. The peacock was just like that in the waiting room with that shouting all the time. He was already knowing everything. And of course, he already got rid of the grease in his ear. He was so depressed when he saw that he would only be able to think what others wanted. He almost cried. He just didn't cry because he was dying to hear everything, and he thought that if he cried, it would get in the way. The 5 owners discussed for 3 hours, and then they chose. The peacock will think that we are the coolest. The peacock won't want to leave our side. The peacock will love to show himself. The peacock won't want any bit of the money that we will make with him. The peacock will defend us with teeth and nail, his beauty. Then they fought again because one said that the peacock didn't have teeth, the other said the peacock didn't have nail, the other said he did, and they argued for a very long time. And then the people in Azarte sent the fifth person ask again, and then he asked like that. The peacock will defend with beak and feathers his beauty. Hang on. Then no one decided that he had talked wrong, and they scheduled the operation for the next day. But then the time of deciding the color of the thread, the fighting started all over again. One wanted that they would tie him up with a pink thread, the other with a blue, the other wanted one in two colors. And while they fought, the peacock spied by the hole in the lock just to see if the blue was really all that much prettier than the pink. He didn't sleep. He spent all the night doing gymnastics. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. A rather weird gymnastics. In the one, he would leave his leg very loose, and all of a sudden, choo, he would pull the leg with all his strength. He repeated the exercise a ton of times. When one leg was already well trained, he would go to the next. Then he would train his foot. Then he started to train his feathers. And then it got harder, but he didn't give up. He chose one feather, leave it very loose, very chill, and all of a sudden he would pull at it. It was a weird pull, kinda like from inside out, and if it was well made, the feather even broke. Then he trained his beak, his eye, and then he rose until he got into his thinking. Weird book logic. Of course. Because that's really what he wanted. Give a pull in his thinking. At the time that he spied through the hole in the lock, he saw that the thread that they would use to seal his thinking wasn't all that. With a little bit of a pull, it would break. Then he kept training that pull. But pulling thinking is even harder than pulling feather. He would do it like this. He would leave his thoughts still, completely silent, without thinking anything. And all of a sudden, choo! He thought about something with all his might. He trained his thinking pull until the time of the operation. And at the time, they just didn't manage to seal his thread. They would seal one side, and then they started to seal another. The peacock just gave that pull, and there it went. The thread would just break. Then they went back to fix the broken side. The peacock just gave another pull, and it would break the other side. They started losing their patience. What a bad thread! Isn't it because of the color? They changed the thread, they changed the color. 1, 2, 1, 2. The peacock pulled, the thread broke. They decided for giving up. The peacock started. The peacock was left with a bunch of loose pieces of thread hanging inside his head. Sometimes his thinking would get tangled in the bits and it couldn't go through, and then the peacock was just think the same thing, just thinking the same thing, just thinking the same thing, just until it would unravel itself. But besides that, he managed to leave coarse thread thinking normally. Man, are all of those flipped? Oh well. The people from Azarta's side, it's a case for filter. And that's where that's how they sighed when they had to give a student of thinking that was resistant to the coarse shot and thread. Then they took the peacock to the coarse filter. Then it worked. Then the peacock really was with a very slow thinking. The room of the coarse filter was pink and had the smell of toothpaste. It was really smell of toothpaste. It was nice to be there. Okay. So the author likes toothpaste smell. I guess it can be nice. They took the peacock and they brushed his feathers really well so that it would shine, to show how they treat him well. The peacock loved it. In the room, in the floor, in the walls, everywhere was a filter. Big, small, upside, of wall, of shelf, metal, acrylic. There was some that were very old and there were some that were very far ahead, very modern. The peacock liked even more of the course. He thought that so much filter could only be a collection to play with. He started looking at all of them. They asked, "Which one do you want for you?" The peacock surprised himself. "Oh, wow! Everything's so nice? And you still gave it to me?" It was a little suspicious. "But why is it that you want to give me a filter?" "To filter your foot, for your foot to be very clean." The peacock started thinking that idea. He thought it was a bit bullshit. "Do you like this one?" And they showed him a very tiny filter. A very cute little metal one. "You have a very tiny head. You need a very tiny filter, right? Do you like this one?" The peacock answered, distracted. Cool." They didn't let him talk anything else. They held him against his will, opened up his head, put the filter right in the start of his thinking, pulled over there, and they tightened it up so that there wouldn't be any idea in the head of the peacock before first going through the filter. And then they left the faucet open just a teensy bit. It almost wouldn't go through. And with the brushing he got, he left Azarta even more beautiful than he was. And on top of that, smelling like toothpaste. So cool. Oh hell. So sucking hell. Fucking hell. This is, oh man. This is kind of dark for a children's book. But something happened that no one could anticipate. The faucet of his filter was faulty. It wouldn't sit still in the same place. Sometimes it would go, and all of a sudden it opened, all of it. And then there was a thing of thought going through the peacock's head that was a marvel. Other times it would go to the other side and would completely close. And in those times the peacock would just shut down completely. But all of these walkings of the faucet were just from time to time. Most of the time it really just stayed in the position that it had to stay, just a teensy bit open, for his foot to go very slowly and get even slower over time. How no one could see what is it that happened inside the peacock's head, no one managed to know about the defect of the faucet. But one day, when all of it opened, the peacock started thinking normally again, remembering everything and comprehending everything that had gone on. It was really good, but it lasted little. When the peacock was in the best thought, it closed again. The peacock would live for a very long time in that garden, would walk over there and to the other side, show himself, and nothing else. His owners training him. Walk like this, open your feathers like this, answer like this, look like this. And he walked, he opened, he answered, he looked. Because that was the advantage of his loud thinking. The peacock just did everything without ever stopping to think. Everything that others told him. Then, one day, the faucet opened all again. And it was just in this day that the peacock found a sailor very famous around there, called John of the 1001 Girlfriends. Wait! Vera was so into the chat with Alexander that she almost jumped scared when she heard her mother yelling from the door. It's already dinner time. I'm going. She looked at Alexander. You aren't going away, will you? I think tonight I'm gonna sleep around here. Where? There's a bunch of nice grass to sit on. Listen. She looked at Mom waiting in the door, got up. Tomorrow you are gonna go have lunch at home, okay? You and the peacock? Cool. Where do we meet? Here. I'll come and get you. Then I'll show you my yard, the river, the flowers that my father plants, and the drawings that I make, okay? Okay. And look, I'm gonna ask my mom. She's cool. I'm sure she's gonna accept for you and the peacock to sleep there too. Then you manage to rest a lot before you continue your travel. And then we have time to talk a lot. Okay. Settled. Then, bye. The next day, when Vera left home, she heard Alexander calling. She ran to the river and stopped, a little shocked. I was gonna get you now. Alexander jumped out of the water. We woke up early and I decided to come soon to already know the place. This is a really cool place, huh? I already met your father. You met with him? The peacock went ahead in front of Vera, opened his feathers and started showing himself. Alexander laughed. Today is day of rest, peacock. You don't need to show yourself. You don't need to do anything. We're just gonna play. The peacock started looking at Alexander with a very serious face. Vera asked again, "You already met with my father?" "Yeah, when I got here, I saw a guy planting flowers. I asked if he was your father. Then I presented myself and I presented the peacock too. I shot with him. He was really cool, you know? Cool, but small shot. He said he had too much work to do. Then I asked if I could come take for a swim, and he let me. He sat in the side of the river and took a deep breath. Ah, man, this river is so cool. Vera sat beside him, put her feet inside the water. It's kinda hot, isn't it? Started seeing the river go by, hugged with some food that she brought. Alexander looked at her. Today you're different. It's because I tie my hair like this. It's pretty, but you have this face of someone that ate something you didn't like. She put the package in the floor and said, "I brought some food for you." And when she opened the towel, Alexander was vibrant. So much food! There was orange, banana, bread, broth, cheese, so much stuff. The peacock came closer. Alexander took some bits of bread for him, put some ham and cheese in the broth and started eating. Vera was a while quiet and then asked, "How did you do that magic from yesterday?" "I always make the show below a tree so that the peacock can be hidden up there, and then I can say his magic because he appears in the air all of a sudden." No. I'm talking about the other one. How is it that he managed to know that was me that pulled at him? That one we know really well. He just keeps looking with one eye kinda closed to pretend that he's thinking really hard, but all the time he's looking at me, and me, steady, without blinking. When he gets near the person that pulled him, I blink. That's the agreed signal. And the verse. Was it you that made? Yeah. You liked it? It's cool. Then there was so much work to make everything ending on. But it went. Why everything needed to end in on? To rhyme with pavão. Pavão is peacock. How long has it been? An hour and a half? This has been like half the book so far, more or less. Do you think you can see through the whole thing? Where are the numbers? Yeah. This has been roughly half of the book. I think I may leave the other half for another time. I'll just end this chapter. It's a bit longer than I thought. For some reason I thought it was like 60 pages, but it's like 90. And this part is kind of boring. Yeah, it's been a while. You know what, I'm gonna skip this part because there's really isn't anything going on here other than them talking about how he does the I'm surprised this time. Yeah, it is a kind of long book. I am gonna end it here then. I'm gonna finish the rest next time. And I'll also take the chance and mark a few spots that I'm gonna skip because them talking about some stuff is not really all that interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you if you wanna keep on listening. I can keep on going for a while longer, but it's gonna be at least 1 hour before I finish. Listen, that true language is so weird. It's just noise. I invented it just to say that the language is peacock language to sound as if the peacock is even more genius. Look at the peacock. He has the head kinda falling to one side, doesn't he? He does. I think it's the weight of the filter. The story of the cat in the cloak and the sailor is kinda cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call it today. And I'll continue next time. Yeah. Yeah. Hope you found it fun so far. I find that the conclusion is kind of interesting. Damn, it kind of makes me sad. It's nice, but it also makes me sad a little. Alright, then until next time, bye bye.